Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. In this video we are going to read books about spring or that are set in spring or that feel like a spring vibe in order to manifest spring to come. Although we do have some 70-degree days in Chicago this week, I also saw snow on the forecast, so we're trying to keep good vibes and enjoy the spring while it's here and hopefully tell spring to come for real. So what I'm reading this week is Watermoon, which is a book about a magical realism pawn shop that is in Tokyo, and it's actually set in autumn, but I just think that magical realism in general gives me spring vibes, and I was told that it's kind of like Before the Coffee Gets Cold and Studio Ghibli, and Studio Ghibli always feels like spring, summer with all that lush nature. I'm listening to that because I think that it will make me feel the newness of spring and hopefully the lushness of the nature. And then physically I'm reading a tome. I am reading The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. It is the first book in the Wheel of Time series, which I have been intimidated by, to be completely honest. It is really, really daunting to try to do this series when it is so long, to the point that Brandon Sanderson had to finish the series for Robert Jordan after he unfortunately passed away. I've held off, but I think now is the time because the first book is set in spring and I think I will really enjoy it, and a new beginning is perfect for spring, so opening up a new series is perfect. Other things I'm going to be doing is I'm hoping to go out to some cafes and spend as much time outside while it's warm, and I also am hoping to do some plant shopping later, so we're just going to be manifesting spring, and I will have more updates soon. Happy Saturday. I do not yet have an update on Eye of the World, but I do have an update on Watermoon. I think I've listened to about an hour and a half so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I will say, in comparison to Studio Ghibli, it does really have kind of a dark, tenser vibe. Other than Princess Mononoke, I feel like most of the Studio Ghibli feel very happy and lighthearted, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this book is feeling really eerie. It is kind of freaking me out, and I can see why the book is set in autumn because it kind of fits perfectly in that gloomy vibe. As for today, I went to a cafe this morning and then I did some wandering around because it is so warm, and I did successfully go plant shopping, so hopefully you saw a clip of that, and I will show the plant I purchased as well as the planter. So here she is. I haven't planted it yet, so don't judge, but yeah, she's so beautiful. I had a really hard time finding a plant that would be safe for my kitty, and this one is, so I'm really excited to add it to my collection and put it in the window for this warm weather. For the rest of the day, I am going to relax at home. I need to do some editing, and then this evening I want to spend some significant time reading Eye of the World because I feel like it will really end the day well, and I'm really excited to finally get going and get some real progress in it. So that's it for now. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, happy Sunday. I wanted to pop in here and provide a bit of a reading update. I have gotten about 200 pages into Eye of the World, and I am really, really, really loving it so far. I was really, really hesitant to read Eye of the World because, one, it's a 14-book series, like I mentioned before, but I've also kind of heard people say that Wheel of Time doesn't really pick up until midway through the series, and it feels like a huge commitment to have to read 6 books before at book 7 it's gonna like really pick up and get good. But I don't really agree with that based on what I've read. I will say the book does start slow. We start in a small village and they are just like going through their regular days of life for the beginning of the book. But I would say within like the first 100 pages, we get a conflict that accelerates things along, and now our kind of ensemble cast is doing a long journey that I imagine we will look at for a vast majority of the rest of the book, or at least part of the rest of the book. I kind of love that as a story. I can see how this fantasy has inspired a lot of fantasy that came after it, and I can see really how this is such a beloved series. So I'm really enjoying it. It also is feeling very, very real to my life because one of the things that is an issue at the beginning of the book is that we're looking at like a very chilly spring where it's almost like spring has not come and they're worried that spring won't come at all. And although it was warm yesterday and the day before, I literally am telling you it is snowing right now. And Chicago is really feeling like, will spring ever come or will we just tease you with a couple warm days? So it's been like kind of the perfect environment to read this book in, and I'm really excited to read more. For the rest of the day, I think I'm going to take a little bit of a pause on it until at least this evening because I did read roughly 150 pages this morning. I want to work on my Hobonichi for the week and play a little Hollow Knight maybe, and then hopefully I can get back to it later this evening and get a little more progress done. Because right now I'm about a fourth of the way through the book, and I'd like to finish it in a realistic timeline. So I gotta keep my head to the grindstone or nose to the grindstone. So yeah, that's it. Hello, happy Monday. I have not read any more of Eye of the World, but I did read or slash listen to a lot of Watermoon while I was working today. I definitely agree with the people who said it's a Studio Ghibli-esque book. It definitely has that element of whimsy that you get from Studio Ghibli books. They literally travel through puddles as transportation, and that really reminds me of like the end shot of Howl's Moving Castle, or like near the end when they're in that big field with all the beautiful puddles. A lot of other little whimsy things are happening. They also traveled via paper crane, and all the characters they interact with feel very magical and mystical. So that part of the book I really enjoy. That being said, we're also getting a little bit of a romance, and I do not really think I'm enjoying that part. These characters have known each other for like a single day and yet they're seemingly falling in love, and I don't find that the most believable. I think we would really need a little more development. In particular, I would love more development of our male character because I really don't feel like I understand any of his motivations or why he is here and like continually like time and time again wants to help our main character Hana. Hopefully I'll find out more. I'm about halfway through, so I'll definitely finish it this week and then hopefully I can provide my final thoughts on it sometime soon. But that's it for today. I'll have another update tomorrow. Good morning, happy Tuesday. I don't have a reading update for you because I have done zero reading, but I start work late today, so I'm hoping to read a little bit of Eye of the World this morning, and I will be commuting somewhere later today, so I'll definitely listen to Watermoon this afternoon/evening. So I'm looking forward to that. As for spring vibes, I will say Chicago is 65 degrees today, so we are getting that like constant whiplash between 30-degree weather and warm spring weather, which does feel very in line with Eye of the World saying, like, will spring ever come? So it's been very fun to read that. But hopefully more updates later today, or if not, definitely tomorrow. Hello and happy Thursday. I lied and did not vlog yesterday. I'm so sorry. All you missed was a torrential downpour and scary, scary hail that made it really loud in my apartment to where I couldn't vlog. So, be glad that you didn't have to suffer through that probably horrible audio I would have had for you. But while I didn't vlog yesterday, I did finish a book. So let's be so happy about that. I finished Watermoon yesterday. It was a super short audiobook. It was 9 hours, so not a huge surprise. But I'm here to tell you my thoughts about it. And to be honest, my thought about it is you can skip this one. It is not worth your time. I did not find myself super invested in the characters in particular. Our characters are very one dimensional in this book, and I found it very irritating that they go through a romance, but it's a very insta love romance. And I apologize if that's a spoiler, but frankly, it is. They meet each other and they are like acting like they are deeply, deeply connected and in love, and that everything that will happen, like they need to sacrifice for this love and this moment. And it's just not believable. It was really, really irritating to me and kind of ruined my enjoyment of the book. And in addition to that, neither character felt even developed on an individual level, and then I'm supposed to believe they're in love. So that was really frustrating to me. That being said, the elements I did like about this book was the setting and the world building was very well done. I felt like she really thought through how to create elements of whimsy and make everything feel special and different, akin to a Ghibli movie. So I really enjoyed that aspect of the book. I just really felt like the characters fell flat, and I think that's the most important part of a book for me. I'm sorry to say I didn't really enjoy it. As for Eye of the World, I am loving it. We are really getting a traditional, like, journey, hero's journey type story. Literally, like, several characters are just walking in the forest right now, so it feels very traditional fantasy in that way, but I'm loving it. I'm eating it up. I am feeling very like excited reading a book about like the beginning of a big epic fantasy series at the beginning of spring. Feels like the perfect time to have a new beginning. So I'm really adoring that. As for today, I'm gonna be going to get Korean food with my boyfriend and his mom. So I'm excited for that, and then I want to read more tonight, but we'll see how that happens. I will be starting another audiobook, but I don't think I'm going to talk about it at all in this vlog. But if you're curious, I'm going to be starting the second book in the Song of Ice and Fire, which I believe is called Clash of Kings. So for those of you who are curious about my Game of Thrones journey, I am continuing on. But that's it for now. I'll have more updates later. Robot vlog. Good boy. Hello, happy Saturday. I hope you have enjoyed some clips of what I've been doing because it certainly has not been reading, but it is Saturday. I have a free rest of the day and I really, really want to finish Eye of the World this weekend. I have 300 pages left, so I need to read a lot to finish it this weekend, but I need to finish it because guess what? Oathbound finally came in the hold for the library, so I want to read that, but I'm gonna finish this book first because I said I would, and also I am like very invested in what's happening, so I don't want to just pause. But I really need to get to work on it so that I can move on to other things and continue reading through the things I want to read this year. So for now, I'm hopefully gonna get a big chunk of reading done, and I'll have more updates for you soon. Hello, I am here with a reading update for Eye of the World. I have roughly 100 pages left, so we are gonna try to finish it today. Yesterday I grinded so hard and I read like 200 pages, so I just need to put in the final effort to finish this book because I am ready to be done with it. That being said, it is really good. It just feels like this book is the characters facing struggle after struggle a little bit, so I'm like a little sick of just seeing them fail. And I want, something good to happen for them, so I'm ready to finish it because that has just been a little demotivating to keep reading. I still like it. It's just like a little much, especially for someone who has like a lot of anxiety. I read books to be a little escapism, and seeing these characters struggle and struggle and struggle is a little much. I also am listening to Clash of Kings, which I said I wasn't going to provide any updates on, but it's also a similar vibe of all the characters are just struggling. So I need something happy, light, fluffy after this. I'm gonna read Oathbound after this, which I also think is gonna be struggle and struggle and struggle. It's young adult, so maybe it'll end happily. Meanwhile, Eye of the World is a 14-book commitment I've gotten myself into. But we need to finish it today, so we're gonna get on that grind and we are gonna do some reading now. Okay, I literally just finished the first book in the Wheel of Time minutes ago, and I am feeling so many emotions. Things really got crazy in the last like 150 pages. Feels very akin to Brandon Sanderson. No wonder Robert Jordan determined him to be the one to finish the Wheel of Time books. But I really enjoyed it. I think that I probably am going to go with like 4 stars for my rating. I think that there were definitely parts that I did not enjoy, but overall I really liked it. But since I finished it, we've arrived at the end of the video. I also read Watermoon, in case you forgot, and that was the one I rated pretty low and said was not worth your time. As for this video, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed manifesting spring with me and reading some books that feel very magical and mystical and spring-like. And if you made it this far, why don't you like, comment, or subscribe? It would really help me out and help the work that I'm doing on this channel. As for me, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!